Well, well, well. You want to travel? Well, you've come to the right place because in today's video, I'm going to run through 8 tips and tricks, things to buy that you need to consider prior to traveling. So let's go. So, unfortunately, we're going to start off the boring stuff. I apologize, but this is crucial to get right early on and definitely to consider to make your trip as streamlined as possible. So, number one, travel insurance. I know, it's extra money and you might not need it, but take it from me. I needed it a few times during my trip. Look around, go to comparison websites. I took out a policy with Outbacker, who were actually pretty good. Their Trustpilot reviews, etc., were quite bad, but they were okay with me. On my very first day of my trip, I was getting a flight from London to Madrid and then Madrid to Cuba. My first flight was delayed. They managed to pay me back for the missed flight and the accommodation and some money for my stay in Madrid. So overall, pretty good. And also, there was a fire in El Salvador. In the hostel like a week before I was coming back, and I didn't lose anything personally, other than something very small. But people lost a lot. No one was seriously injured, but people's stuff went up in flames. So those who had insurance definitely were happy that they had insurance. Those who didn't were, had egg on their face. But travel insurance, number one, look into it. Definitely worth considering. Number two, a high quality backpack. I've got this one, which is a 4-liter Offspring backpack. I think it comes in 2 sizes, male and female. I've obviously got the man one. Honestly, it's a little bit pricey. I think this one was about £100, just under £100, which for some people is a lot of money, especially for a backpack, right? Take it from me, this is bomb proof. I think it has a lifetime guarantee for like wear and tear, and only 2 things have actually gone wrong with it in my entire year-long travel. And I've taken this again up the volcano in Guatemala. I've taken this through jungles, just been scratched, dropped about, heaved everywhere, and it's carry-on as well. So that's another thing to consider is how much you need to take. Number three, this one is very specific. It's this Hero Clip. Now it looks like a carabiner because it is a carabiner, but it can do this. So it can twist and you can use it as like a hook. So if you're in the toilet and the floor is rather mucky, you've got your brand new backpack with all your stuff in it, you can hang this over the side, hook your bag in the carabiner, and away you go. It's just a really useful bit of kit. It was, I can't even remember how much it was, but I'll put a link in the description below. Hanging this on your bag, lifesaver. At the beach, you can hang this up somewhere, put your towel here, it doesn't get all sandy. Loads of useful. You can use it for everything. So, would highly recommend this. Number four, a universal travel adapter. And not just any that you can get off the shelf at airports, etc. The ones, oh, you forget it and they charge you 5 times the price. I'm talking about an actual proper travel charger. Now, yes, it's a little bit more pricey than if you were to get a cheaper one on Amazon. But if you're going somewhere else in the world that has a different socket, so for example, I'm in the UK, who'd have thought it? And our travel plugs, or our plugs rather, look like this. They're 3-pronged. Now, this beauty here, this is the Hugo Bolt, as you can see here, is a universal travel adapter. So you've got US, Australia, UK, and EU prongs here, so you can plug it into any type of fitting. And there's the Australian and American one. And then on this side, you can plug in, again, any of those fittings. So you've got the UK one, the 3-prong, the American one, and the Aussie one, and the European one. In addition to that, you've got a USB-C fast charging port here for your phone and 4 USBs here. So if you've got this and you're in some hostel somewhere and it's absolutely sweltering and you want to just charge your phone up, or you're ill, you want to just chill, and there's only one socket, well, you can just remove that, someone's thing, kindly, and normally it's pretty okay. As long as you're not messing around with that stuff too much, but unplug it, and then you can replug it into here. Right as rain, you can plug in your, whatever you want, really. You've got everything and more. So again, link in the description. Really, really good. A little bit pricey, so if you can afford it, I would recommend it because it saves the day numerous times. And actually, I bought a laptop when I was in Mexico because my old one went kaput, and it came with an American socket. One of these bad boys, North American socket. So having this meant I could just use it here instead of buying another lead. So really good. Highly recommend it. Now, if you can't afford this specific one, you can probably get a cheaper one. You can just get a specific one to the country you're going to. So if you are going to, I don't know, Europe, you can just pick up a European travel adapter, and that will be just as good. It will charge up what you want to charge. But this just gives you the flexibility, and it gives you the accessibility of multiple USB ports. And having this, you'll become quite popular in hostels if you choose to stay in them. So recommend this. Number 5 is a travel wallet. Now, I picked this particular one up. This is the Aviator, I believe. It's carbon fiber. Again, I kind of just splurged out prior to me going, but you definitely don't need this one. There are other small slimline wallets like this that I highly recommend you picking up. Now, they don't necessarily have to be a card wallet because depending on where you're going, cards might not be, universally accepted. Where I went in the Americas, there were cards, of course, card terminals, but most of it was cash. So you can get like a slimline wallet for your cash. This one comes with a clip on the back, as you can see. Again, it's lasted me really good for a long period of time. And the reason you want something like this is to keep it in your front pocket. I was almost pickpocketed twice. One time the guy actually had my phone, even though it was in my front pocket. So you're not immune to theft, but if it was in my back pocket or I kept stuff in my back pocket, guarantee I would not have probably felt it. The fact that it was in my front pocket, I managed to feel, my phone and my wallet at all times, basically. So if you're having a few beers somewhere or you're in a crowded area, putting your hands in your pockets, knowing where they are, you can't really complain. It's not a necessity, but prior to my other wallet, let me just fetch it one sec. Okay. Prior to this behemoth, which is what I had before, prior to me going, just your standard traditional bifold. This, with cash in it, sticks out like a sore thumb in your back pocket. So some slimline kind of wallet, or if you're a lady, I don't know, some kind of like concealable coin purse or something along those lines. You could use this as well. So definitely something to consider. Something that fits in your front pocket. Highly recommend. Number 6 is in a similar vein to number 5, but this is a concealed money / document belt. Now, mine is so concealed and hidden that I have no idea where mine is actually gone. I think it's at my parents' house. So I haven't got it in front of me today. However, this one is the one that I had. Perfect. It fits in between your jeans, your shorts, and your waist. And it's so thin line, streamlined, that it hugs your body and cannot be seen. I had emergency cash in there. I kept my passport in there when I was traveling around between places. Anything that you can't afford to lose, keep in there. You could also keep your phone in there. I did that a few times when I was in particularly dangerous places. Once or twice, I put my phone in there, and again, you can't really see anything there untowards. So, highly recommend picking up a travel belt. Again, you can get them a lot cheaper than the one I got. But the one thing I like about mine is the kind of the soft touch, felty type fabric. It didn't rub against the skin or anything like that. And you can probably get some cheaper ones that are just as good potentially, but definitely shop around. If you can go to one of those like outdoorsy type stores where they have them, try them on. I guarantee you, really good investment, and you're going to want it for sure. Like number 5 and number 6 prior to this, number 7 is to do with concealment and redundancy. If you lose your wallet, you've got your hidden money belt. If you lose your hidden money belt, you've got another belt with a hidden compartment in it. So this is the one that I picked up here. Again, other brands exist. I like this one because it's like a utility belt, chucked around your jeans, your shorts, blended in completely. And if everything went, up in the air, like that fire incident in El Salvador where people lost all their stuff, if you have physical money strapped to you, or in a belt concealed, then you're always going to have that emergency money. If someone robs your bag or your wallet, your bag, whatever circumstances happen, right? You always have that last cash right there just in case you need it. And you could also fold up some small little documents and put them in there, like a passport photocopy potentially, and there's stuff like that. Again, I had like £100 in there that I never touched the entire trip. I never lost the belt. Well, I almost lost the belt once. That's the only downside. If you lose it, you also lose the money. But if something goes wrong, you have peace of mind that you always have that extra bit of cash right in your, well, not your sleeve, on your belt. So there you go, number 7. And the final 2 tips are both applications. Let's go. So the first and foremost is Google Translate. As you can see, I have it installed on my phone here. And you can actually go into Google itself and you can download languages offline. So you need no internet connection at all. It knows the language. And for translations, I can't think of anything better. It's an absolute lifesaver when you're really early onto a trip. You basically speak none of the language. You just need to convey a message, type it in, it can speak out, it can transcribe stuff, you can go with the camera setting and it can translate stuff in real time. I think you need a data connection for that. Generally speaking, really, really useful. Translate and download all the languages that you think you're going to need on your trip. If you're going to Europe and you're going all the way interrailing, do a bit of planning beforehand, download all the languages. They don't take up much space on your phone, and you will not regret it one bit, because this has saved my life. It's a bit dramatic. Saved my ass a few times. So Google Translate, download it now. And finally, number 8, a good offline map. So I have an Android phone. I use Google Maps. And they actually have an offline mode setting. So you can go into the settings, click offline maps. You can zoom to the areas where you want to have access to offline, and you can navigate without a connection. So you're in the middle of the jungles somewhere, maybe not the jungles, but for example, when I was in Mexico, I went to some ruins and middle of nowhere, no mobile signal, no signal to even make a call, right? Really in the deep, dark jungles of Mexico. And the maps were really useful. You could navigate, you could see where the nearest towns were, etc., etc. Short of buying an actual physical map, which you can do, you could buy travel guides. It's really good. Another one I used is called maps.me. Very similar principle. You can download maps, use them offline, help you navigate to the nearest town when you're speaking to someone. If you want to get a ride, hitchhike, or you're not quite sure of the towns in between your next trip, you have a quick guide to check on. Maybe someone will drop you off halfway along your trip to the nearest town if you're going to hitchhike, and then you get the next bus or whatever. Having a map, really, really useful. So those are 2 I'd recommend. And there we have it. There are 9 tips and tricks that you might need. Some of them are super obvious, but nonetheless, that have actually saved my bacon numerous times going traveling. I think it's very important to consider redundancy when you're going traveling. For example, 3 of them was to do with money, right? And hiding them and making yourself secure from theft. And in the case of theft or some unforeseen circumstances happen, you still have the ability to pay for something, to buy an extra phone or whatever, right? Get that data package to call home or whatever it needs, right? So redundancy, convenience, definitely needed. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Leave your ideas and suggestions in the comments below. Let's get a list of things together for those budding adventurers. And again, if you think I'm mistaken or there's any other alternatives to anything I've suggested, then please do let me know. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, peace.